Evaluation Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real-life media products? For my advanced portfolio, I created a music video in the EDM genre. The genre we chose is most commonly known for being popular music which is danced to in nightclubs and party surroundings. The music typically has a repetitive beat and an electrical backing track. Finally, me and my partner chose our main track to be Make Me Feel by Galantis, which turned out to be the perfect match for our chosen genre. So here are some examples of inspiration I used during my research for the EDM genre's forms and conventions. The first picture being the strobe lights, which are green, which is from the music video Don't You Worry Child by Swedish House Mafia. So in this image you can clearly see there's bright strobe lighting and very powerful colours, which we wanted to really include in our own video, so we would have bright colours, which is the reason that we increase the saturation in pretty much all of our footage. The image to the right hand side is from Avicii's Wake Me Up music video, which in this image I see representation of happiness and friends having a good time and dancing, which is particularly portrayed in this sort of music video. So we made sure that our characters always appear as very happy during any shots we filmed during the video. The image on the left hand side just below Swedish House Mafia is of women surrounding a pool, which is from the music video Summer by Calvin Harris. In this image they're particularly quite sexualized. I put this image in as I wanted to show how we were trying to contrast from this. We wanted our video to be different and not so much sexualized as women are usually portrayed in normal EDM videos. Obviously in our own, the two main characters are girls, so it's particularly showing female power and dominance rather than just being an additional part of the video. Beside that picture is an image from Avicii's The Nights. This is an establishing shot, an imagery of locations. So this is particularly why we wanted to film in London, as we thought it would be a good place to film as it's such a popular location and really recognisable to audiences. Calvin Harris is in Ellie Goulding's Outside music video. So in this image you can see there's really bright colours, really good use of colour palette, which is one of the main reasons we also wanted to really saturate all of our footage and make it look as bright and as colourful as we possibly could. And beside this is an image from the music video Red Lights by Tiesto, and this is like a representation of youth. However, we wanted to contrast how the media usually misinterpret youth and how they usually try to demonstrate them as badly behaved and just inappropriate to the public. And in this video there's a lot of arcade scenes, casino scenes, and them riding on motorbikes. We specifically analysed the types of forms and conventions our music genre followed before we began any planning for filming the product. We'd done this in order to represent similarities and follow the norms of previous music videos within the same genre. Through our research, we found the most commonly placed forms and conventions were applicable to the camera shots, locations and environments, and finally the editing. Starting off with the camera shots, from research it was clearly visible that most shots from EDM music videos were fast-paced and cut in order to fit the beat and enhance the dance feel being conveyed. When filming our own video we took this under consideration especially. A lot of the shots we included were fast-paced and involved quick panning over scenery and locations being used, as well as zooming inwards and outwards to deliberately emphasise the filming was being completed handheld. We included a fair amount of handheld filming in order to represent a realistic point of view perspective from both centred characters. We highly wanted to depict the contrast between the verses being slower and the choruses being faster. Therefore, we ensured the characters remained calmer and the shots would stay at a slower pace during the verses. However, when the beat began again and the beat would speed up, the shots would commence being faster cut, with an additional shakiness effect which added to represent the character's excitement and add a sense of realism of what it is like within a real dance and party atmosphere. We also included a number of high-angled establishing shots as well as mid-shots to give the audience a sense of where they are and familiarise themselves with the current setting. As well, we included a number of close-up angles upon the two main characters to highlight their importance and help them to stay recognisable to the audience whilst they are watching. So here are a few examples from our actual music video. At the top you can see there's a close-up shot of one of our main characters, which we had quite a few of in our music video in order for once again the audience to recognise very clearly who the main characters are. Just below that we have the mid-shot angle of me in the arcade, just my upper body to represent what am I doing. And just below that we have the establishing shot of the South Bank and the London Eye. We had quite a few establishing shots in order to represent the location and the current setting of what is going on. Common forms and conventions of EDM music videos also include the locations and sets being used. Usually this takes place within a lively and stimulating atmosphere such as clubs, parties and places with large surroundings of people, as well as locations with powerful lighting and vibrant colours, which additionally adds to the liveliness and feel-good atmosphere of the setting. For our own video we included a combination of footage filmed in central London as well as clubbing and concert scenes. We included a balance of both to establish the excitement between the verse and the chorus. We also enhanced the saturation of the footage and played around with different colours to enrich for each particular scene in order to give the video a more vintage appearance. We also included a mixture of bright coloration and strobe lighting to emphasise the happiness and make the scenes pop out greater to the audience. We knew that it was essential for our music video to match our chosen song, which is why we greatly incorporated a connection between the lyrics and the video itself. For example, we accompanied the lyrics 6 o'clock again with daytime footage to symbolise the time of day and contrast between nighttime. So here are a few examples from our actual music video, the locations and sets which we used. So you can see in the top image, this is central London, and in central London we went to particular locations such as Leicester Square, Oxford Street, Westminster, Piccadilly Circus and Camden Town. Just below that, on the right, you can see is a party/club setting, which is very important to the EDM genre. So we got these sort of images from concerts we'd been to and that sort of places. And just below that, we have a mixture of the arcade, shops and skate parks. We wanted it to be places youth could relate to and enjoy going to, which is why we went to the most popular places we think they would. Most commonly placed techniques used as conventions of typical EDM music videos include fast cut shots in order to allow as much footage and angles to be included as possible. We made sure essentially within the chorus our cuts would never be longer than 2 to 3 seconds, as well as to make sure the footage being used fits the beat and works well as soon as the bass drops. We used such editing techniques as stabilising, which we done in order to make the video appear as though it had been filmed on an older camera. So with the stabilising effect, what it would do is from where we'd filmed it would be quite shaky, but would make it shaky on purpose. So then when we went to stabilise it, it would give it an almost vintage effect, as though it'd been filmed on a certain type of camera. Even though it was not intended, it looked very good when we saw it on screen. Which, yeah, as well added to the vintage theme that we obviously intended. We also sped up some of the footage for certain scenes to contrast the difference between the slower paced shots and the faster ones, as well as to help the footage remain up to beat to the song. This use of editing we included hoped would amplify and draw audiences into the video further, as well as allowing them a sense of exhilaration and freedom of the video was portraying. We wanted to incorporate the idea of escapism, as most EDM music videos feature somewhat desired atmospheres and fantasies that audiences aspire to escape to, which is why we wanted to edit our video in the best timely manner as possible. So we developed our music video in a number of ways throughout the process of the project. We wanted our video to stand out and furthermore improve from existing EDM music videos. We'd done this by including a combination of scenery, not only just featuring dancing club scenes. We wanted to emphasise happiness upon the outside world by including a variety of popular locations within London and scenarios such as the arcade and carousel scenes, which can be seen as playful fun. We also developed our video by incorporating a wide range colour palette by changing the use of saturation and colours used, decided upon the colours already featured in the imagery. We also made sure to include a strong contrast between night and day imagery to reflect upon the song's lyrics as well as its meaning, implying happiness lies within both times of day. For our music video, our main focus was to shine light towards happiness and a reflection of life, which viewers could relate to. In doing so, we also challenged some of the previous forms and conventions of the EDM genre in order to make our video different. We did this first of all by incorporating our main characters as females rather than males. It is found that in most EDM music videos, females are only used for sexualized purposes, which we wanted to challenge in order to represent female power and domination taken over the genre. We also challenged regular filming shots and angles. For example, most of our shots were handheld to highlight we were trying to approach the video as being more a vlog from the point of view of the two main characters, to feel more personal rather than just an establishing perspective for the audience to watch over. We also challenged some sound techniques during editing, such as including the sound from the video itself within scenes of the video. For example, before the second verse began, as well as just before the video ends. Both scenes were within a party atmosphere setting, which meant there was lots of cheering which could be heard in the background, which we felt added a nice touch towards the atmospheric party scene. Conclusively, deciding to overlap the audio we already had in the footage, as well as it still keeping the original audio playing at the same time, gave it a really good effect and realistic. We also wanted to challenge the ideology that all media products are constructed. I found that throughout my research and planning, most EDM music videos pursued a somewhat unrealistic version of reality and unnecessary use of sexualization, which is why, to challenge this, we wanted to ensure that our video would appear more relatable and realistic to our viewers, as well as apprehensible. This way demonstrating we had the ability to craft our own media messages without the use of stereotyping any typical conventions conveyed normally. However, we did still follow the genre's general features such as dancing party atmospheres as well as footage of youth, nonetheless with our own twist in order to be different and more futuristic.